Good evening. This meeting is hereby called to order. This is a meeting of the Tinton Falls Borough Council being held September 20th, 2022. Would the clerk please read the open public meeting statement?
Pursuant to Section 5 of the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by posting on the bulletin board at Borough Hall and by notification to the Asbury Park Press, the Newark Star Ledger, and the New Coaster at least 48 hours prior to the meeting and filing with the Borough Clerk all on January 4th, 2022.
Thank you. May I ask the clerk to call the roll?
Mrs. Clay?
Here.
Dr. Dobrin?
Here.
Mr. Manginelli?
Here.
Mr. Nessie?
Here.
Ms. Buckley?
Here. At this time, I'd like to invite everyone to join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There are no approval of meeting minutes this evening. At this time, our business administrator, Mr. Terafenko, will announce the promotional oaths of office for our Tinton Falls Police Department. Thanks everyone for joining us this evening.
Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call Chief DeLucia up front and also Officer Fields.
Good evening, everybody. This has been a long process. We are back now with our sixth officer that we just hired this year, 2022. As we know, we went through some change with the police department. Joey Fields went through an extensive background check, interviews, and we always said to Joey, when I interviewed Joey, he's like, I'm bringing you back home. He grew up right across the street from Tinton Falls in Red Bank, college athlete, college graduate, master's degree. So it was a no-brainer for us, and he's going to complete our Tinton Falls Police Department now with 43 men in the department. So we're very happy to welcome him. He's actually been here for 3 weeks. He's in our field training program. He'll do a complete 12 weeks for our field training officer, and then he'll be released into patrol. So we welcome Joey. We're so happy for him and his family. At this time, I'd like his father to come up, and he will do the oath with the borough clerk.
Joey Fields,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
and that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in this state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of police officer
of police officer
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
I would like to thank the family of Joe Peter. I mean, we have people come through that we give them credit for this, that, and the other. But if it wasn't for their family, we wouldn't be here today. And I congratulate them. It's a long time, a good mark on that. Anyway.
All right.
Next pictures? Yep.
That's true, it's hanging up on his wall.
Cheese? See my voice.
special thank you, because this wouldn't happen unless Mayor Perillo approved this. So Mayor, thank you so much for all your support to the police department, Director Franco, as always, your support, the council, as always, for your guys' support. Anything that we need here at Tinton Falls, they're very, very supportive. I'm very happy with our police department officers in the back. Thank you so much for coming. As they always say, I keep saying this, some are working, some are not, so we do appreciate you guys coming out and showing your support. This is a great police department, and we're just going to keep getting better and better. So thank you guys always for your support. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you all.
Yes, I will.
I told him that.
Okay. Okay.
Next on the agenda, we have reports, and we will start with Mr. Neff, our Borough Engineer.
Thank you, Council President. Just a quick update on the borough's road program with Fernandez Construction. They're just about wrapped up. They worked their way through just about everything. The last road on their list is Wardell Road. They're just paving the north end of it, and they'll be wrapping that up hopefully by the end of tomorrow. So that should clear up at least some of the construction that's been going on in town. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Neff. We will move on to Mayor Perillo. Exited. Wait for Mr. Terafenko to come back. We'll go to Mr. Starkey.
I do not have any report for tonight. I don't know if Mr. Tarapenko does, but he should be back in just.
He should be back. Okay. We'll circle back to him at the end.
Okay.
Ms. Hutchinson, do you have a report this evening?
No, I do not, thank you.
All right. We'll move on to council reports, and then we'll go back to Mr. Terafenko. We'll start with
Thank
Mrs.
you,
Beck.
Council President. First, I would like to offer my congratulations to our newest officer, Joey Fields. We had a Community Day meeting on the 8th, and we have another meeting scheduled for tomorrow. Community Day is fast approaching, and we've gotten quite a number of sponsors, and we're very excited about that. It's looking to be a great event. I would also like to thank Brendan Tobin and the Tinton Falls Fire Company #1 for a wonderful 9/11 ceremony. Tonight is the Board of Ed meeting, which I am not able to attend since I am here. And lastly, I would like to put in a plug for the food drive. The box in the lobby is there for residents to deposit food items for a local food bank, and it is sadly empty. So if anybody could find a way in their heart to drop a few cans or boxes of non-perishables, that would be fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Clay. Dr. Dobrin?
Okay, the library negotiations are continuing with our CFO, Tom Fallon, and our business administrator, Charles Terafenko, and I'm sure they're in touch with Brian Perry, which I know they are, and he'll be back. I believe Tom is out this week, but he'll be back next week, and those negotiations will continue for progress. I was going to mention that the mayor is going to be 98 years old in the next 2 days, and that's September 22nd, 2022. I want to wish him a happy birthday, but he's out there having a party already. So I guess we'll have to wait till he gets back for that. I do want to mention something else, because it has come to my attention by a significant amount of residents in the southern section of Tinton Falls, that they're very concerned with regard to their quality of life and safety. The issue is a proposed oversized large warehouse in close proximity to the residential area that will definitely impact their quality of life and safety. This project will come before the planning board September 28th at 7 p.m. in this building. It would be nice if my fellow council members could attend. Certainly our liaison is always there. But something, it would be nice if some of the support for the residents. As an elected official by the residents of this town, I ask that their voices be heard, and it's my duty to ask that their concerns be taken seriously. Considerations for some alternate use of this 16.7 acre parcel of land that would have a less negative impact on this residential area of town should be considered, I hope. But that will be all handled
Yeah.
at the...
Dr. Dobrin, sorry to interject. I'm just not sure that council members can influence or attempt to influence the planning board.
No, I'm not asking them to do so. I'm just would like it to be brought to their attention what is going on in the town, considering that we're all elected individuals from the residents, and we'd like to hear from the residents.
Mr. Starkey?
Yes, if I could just address that. There's a pending land use application which is before the planning board, and whenever there's a pending land use application, that is up to the board to decide. It is certainly appropriate for residents to go there and voice their concerns, and they will be and should be heard and addressed appropriately.
At
So
the
to that
planning board
extent,
meeting.
Thank
I
you,
agree, but I do want to make clear that this governing body is not taking any position, in favor or against the application. That's up to the planning board to make its decision.
Yes, I had no intention of influencing anybody.
Just want to
want
clarify.
to...
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, Counselor. And, so is the mayor back here? No. All right. So I guess that's the end of my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Dobrin.
You're welcome.
Mr. Manginelli?
No report tonight. Thank you, Council
All right.
President.
Mr. Nessie?
Thank you, Council President, and good evening, everybody. First, I want to say thank you to all who participated to make the 9/11 ceremony at Firehouse 1 possible. Every year they do a fantastic job, and this year was just as good. And thank you especially to PJ Reyes, who played taps at the ceremony. Mom's a regional student, and he did a killer job, and I want to say thank you to him. Also, congratulations to Officer Fields for joining Tinton Falls. As you heard, next planning board meeting will be Wednesday, September 28th. The board will be hearing an application for 49 and 71 Shark River Road for a preliminary and final major site plan for the construction of approximately 129,000 square foot warehouse. And for recreation, I have a letter from Sherry. The rec soccer program is off and running, hosting many Friday night games under the lights at Sycamore along with Saturday night games. Recreation is working with Fall Basketball League, coordinating games at Hockoxen Park on our great field and newly renovated park, and receiving many compliments. Lots of teams this year participating in fall baseball. This week, Recreation will kick off our track and field program and kids art. Great participation levels for both activities. Rec is working with various community organizations, setting up games and activities such as high school for a couple of nights and games at Sycamore, travel basketball, and travel soccer. Preparing for rec basketball, securing the schools, and we'll have registration in October. The program will be held December through March. Looking forward to a great season. And finally, save the date for our trunk or treat event scheduled for Friday, October 28th at Sycamore Park. Event information will be posted early next week. Mark your calendar for a safe and fun Halloween event. Lots of candy, attractions, haunted hayrides, and more. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Nessie. And for my report, I'd like to echo thanks to the Tinton Falls Fire Companies for an excellent 9/11 memorial ceremony. I'd also like to congratulate Officer Fields. And also mention that the next Fort Monmouth Economic Revitalization Authority meeting is tomorrow night at 5. Haven't received the package yet, but I don't believe there should be anything related to Tinton Falls on it. And then this Thursday is our Tinton Falls Environmental Commission meeting, the 22nd, at the Crawford House at 7:30. And one of the main discussion points is the NJAC grant we received and our upcoming Osprey Fest, which will officially be kicking off the project. We will have conservation expert and Association of New Jersey Environmental Commissions in attendance, and there'll be fun, nature-oriented games for children to play. So all are welcome to come. That's going to be Saturday, October 1st, which is the weekend before Community Day, from 3 to 5 p.m. in the afternoon at Riverdale West Park. And that concludes my report. Mr. Tarafanko, we're going to circle back to you because you were out of the room.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I just want to remind everybody that we still have a few days left for vendors for Community Day. We'll be closing that out at the end of this week, but there is space available for both for-profit and nonprofit organizations that wish to take part. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Tarafanko. Now we'll move on to ordinances for introduction. There are 2 ordinances on for introduction this evening. I'd like to remind the public that when an ordinance is introduced, there is no public discussion. The public discussion for the following ordinances will take place when they're up for final consideration. With that, may I ask the clerk to read the title of the first ordinance, please?
2022-1494, an ordinance authorizing the acquisition of land from the New Jersey Turnpike Authority located at the corner of Essex Road and Asbury Avenue, designated as Parcel X 4569D for nominal consideration. The public hearing will be held on October 11, 22, or soon thereafter, as the matter can be reached on the agenda.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve the introduction of this ordinance?
moved.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. May I have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Clay?
Yes.
Dr. Dobrin?
Yes.
Mr. Manginelli?
Yes.
Mr. Nessie?
Yes.
Ms. Buckley?
Yes. May I ask the clerk to read the title of the next ordinance?
2022-1495, ordinance amending Chapter 3, Article 2 of the Borough Code entitled Police Force to amend the composition of the police force. The public hearing will be held on October 11, 2022, or as soon thereafter as the matter can be reached on the agenda.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve the introduction of this ordinance?
Sorry.
May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. May I have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Clay?
Yes.
Dr. Dobrin?
Yes.
Mr. Manginelli?
Yes.
Mr. Nessie?
Yes.
Ms. Buckley?
Yes. Moving on to ordinances for final consideration. At this time, there's 1 ordinance on for final consideration. We'll hold a public hearing on this ordinance with comments being limited to 3 minutes. Comments may only pertain to this ordinance. May I ask the clerk to read the title of the ordinance, please?
2022-1493, an ordinance amending Chapter 40, Section 37B22 of the Borough Code entitled Cannabis Facilities.
Thank you. May I have a motion to open the public discussion on this
So
ordinance? Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Mike, you can't second that one.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Is there anyone from the public that would like to comment? Please remember to state your name and address for the record. Okay. Were there any written comments as pertains to this ordinance?
No, there were none.
All right. May I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Are there any council members that would like to comment on this ordinance? All right. May I have a motion for adoption?
So moved.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. May I have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Clay?
Yes.
Dr. Dobrin?
Yes.
Mr. Manginelli?
Yes.
Mr. Nessie?
Abstain.
Ms. Buckley?
Yes. All right, moving on to the open public discussion. May I have a motion to open the public discussion?
Motion.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
At this time, the public may comment on any topic of their choice. Please state your name and address for the record and limit your comments to 3 minutes. At this time, I'd like to ask the clerk if any public comments were submitted prior to the meeting via email.
There were none.
All right, thank you. If any member of the public here would like to make a comment, please address us at the podium and state your name and address for the record. Hi, good evening.
Good evening. My name is Dorothy Anderson. I live at 4 Elmore Avenue
Hi, Dorothy.
in Tinton Falls. I just have, I heard what Dr. Dobrin said about the 49 Shark River Road and how this council has no authority on making any decision, but you are my council members of the town that I live, and I just want to share with you our concerns on that end of town with this property, and that's what I just want it on record at the council meeting.
Sure.
I have great concerns regarding the Shark River Road construction project being proposed by the Shark River Road owner LLC at 49 Shark River Road. I live directly across the street from the proposed site of this project at 4 Elmore Avenue. We've lived in this home since 2004, and we love our TF community. We have 4 children. We have 19-year-old twin boys that graduated from Monmouth Regional. We have a 10-year-old son in 5th grade and a 7-year-old daughter in 2nd grade. Over the past 18 years, we have made several improvements to the home, including an in-ground pool in 2019. So I'm quite familiar with the variance process. We received certified letters sent by the lawyers representing Shark River Road LLC, and they were very alarming. On the proposed plans, it seems that the entrance and/or exit for these 18-wheel tractor trailers are planned to be at the bus stop for my 2 children. In addition, the idea of these very large trucks and these strange men and women over the trucker people frequenting the area directly across the street where my children swim and play on their playground equipment does not sit well with me. These are scary times that we live in, and children are being abducted from their front and backyards. I will never be able to let my children play unsupervised in their own backyard ever again if this was to pass. I do have faith in our TFPD, but they can't be everywhere all the time. Not only is this proposal a safety issue for our children and our residents that live there, it is also going to be a traffic safety nightmare. I live right on the corner and I see multiple accidents every year. Now there's going to be multiple accidents with 18-wheel tractor trailers, so the devastation will even be greater. There's so much traffic and so many accidents that it was just approved for a stop ahead to be painted right before that stop sign because nobody seems to see it. We also, as a community, fought very hard to get a weight limit restriction for Shark River Road. One that definitely does not encompass 18-wheel tractor trailers frequenting that road. I am, and the residents are not opposed to these business people building something there. By all means, let's put great things in Tinton Falls to make us a bigger, better town. But 129,000 square foot place it's just not the right thing. They are applying for a plethora of variances here. I know when I put my pool in, it was like jumping through fiery hoops, and I owned the property just to put a pool so my family could enjoy their backyard. And I will attend the planning board meeting, and I will address all these things, and I will be bringing many more people. There was, between the Board of Ed meeting and the PTA meetings, there was like so many things going on tonight. But I just wanted to come and just say that I have faith in the people that we elected, that they will do the right thing by the residents of Tinton Falls and not let this go through.
Thank you, Ms. Anderson.
Have a good evening.
You too. Does any other member of the public have a comment they'd like to make this evening? Okay.
Hi, Mitch Colbert, 21 Cedar Place.
Mr. Colbert.
Not here to comment at all on the contents of the two resolutions that were introduced today, but a lot of times when they are introduced, there's some kind of a presentation or an explanation of what's going on. I didn't know if anything like that was on tap for tonight, but it'd be good to know what those resolutions are all about. Thanks.
Sure. Did you want to?
Yes, I can address that. The ordinance 1494, the New Jersey Turnpike Authority has offered to transfer to the borough parcel of vacant land on the corner of Essex Road and Asbury Avenue. It's a vacant parcel that sits right on the, Tom, you gotta help me out here, I think it's the
southeast corner of Asbury and
southeast corner
Essex.
of the intersection. The intention is to accept that it's about, I think it's about 1.5 acres, and we're gonna make sure there's not development on that parcel. 1495 is an ordinance amending the code for the police force. I don't know if you heard earlier, but the chief said that they have maxed out on the number of police officers they can hire. By state law, the council has to set the number of police officers can be hired and set the amount in each rank. What this ordinance would do, if it's approved, is expand the number of patrol officers that can be hired in the future by 4. So basically, increase the capacity for hiring. There are no plans currently to hire additional. The officer that was hired tonight fills out the maximum, but it's just so that there's some leeway going forward if there's a need to hire. So that'll be up for second reading next time, and feel free to get up and comment then.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Starkey. Are there any other members of the public that would like to comment this evening? Okay. Seeing no more, may I have a motion to close the public comment period?
So moved.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Miscellaneous business. Does any member of council have anything to add that they didn't during their reports? Okay. Moving on to resolutions. At this time, we have one resolution, the appointment of the Environmental Commission members. May I ask the clerk to read the title of the resolution?
R-22-194, resolution appointing members of Environmental Commission.
Thank you. And for those not familiar, we unfortunately had a member of the Environmental Commission pass away, and so now we are appointing to fill those slots. May I have a motion to adopt the resolution?
Motion.
May I have a second? All right. That was, may I have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Clay?
Yes.
Dr. Dobrin?
Yes.
Mr. Manginelli?
Yes.
Mr. Nessie?
Yes.
Ms. Buckley?
Yes. Now we'll move on to the consent agenda. Before we do, are there any items any member of council would like to be removed and voted on separately? All right, hearing none, may I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. May I have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Clay?
Yes.
Dr. Dobrin?
Yes.
Mr. Manginelli?
Yes.
Mr. Nessie?
Yes.
Ms. Buckley?
Yes. All right. There is no executive session this evening, so that concludes today's business. May I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Thank you, Mr. Nessie. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Dobrin. All in favor?
Aye.
Great. This meeting is now adjourned at 7:59 PM. Have a